what I'm going to do, I've done in my chair watching TV, and that's my big setup for this. Here's my setup. See, there's the anvil and vise, and here's the forge. So you can do this anywhere. And using these, and there's a number of things you can do with horseshoe nails. Some people I've seen will make circles and make chains out of them to hang like on a Christmas tree or decorate with them. Some people make rings out of them. You can twist these and make icicles like for a tree, blacksmith icicle. I was going to make a heart with these, like for Valentine's Day or whatever, that you can make keychains out of. I mean, I've seen some people even cut these off and drill a hole here and make it a keychain, just to have something to hold on to. And these come in boxes of 100, and they're about $10 a box. And if you remember, we had Christ-Centered Ironworks at our Hammer Inn. If you look, 7-8 years ago, he posted a video about small things to make that he got started making money by making things out of horseshoe nails. And they made hooks out of horseshoe nails, like those hooks in there, only they flatten the head, and then they make the hook here, and he was selling them for $3 a piece. Well, actually, he was selling these for $5 a piece, he said. And he said, I made hundreds of them for sale. So you don't have to always make, big fancy things. So anyway, that's why I did this, as Bruce wanted a mini demonstration, so I thought I would make a mini demonstration. Now I got to get my toolkit here. See, I'm environmentally correct. I have my canvas bag. These are handy pliers to use for blacksmithing if you don't have a pair. Fencing pliers. This is made to pull staples and that kind of stuff, but you can crimp here, you can hammer here, you can tap, tap, tap on stuff. Just a handy little tool to have if you don't. But anyway, the pliers I generally use were jeweler's pliers, or these are circlip pliers for removing circlips, but they give you the round so you can twist with these in various sizes. I found these in a tool sale I recently went to. They're called parallel pliers because the jaws move in parallel, but one is flat. Normally both are flat. I don't think I have a pair with me. But this one is rounded. So I can rip the nails and twist with that one. And as I said, most of these are jeweler pliers. Oh, you're going to take pictures of them?
Yeah. I think Bruce wants to take.
Okay. And so, see, I look for these pliers like this, duckbill pliers, but they're flat, they're smooth, they're for jewelers, so they don't damage the material I'm dealing with.
So if you don't see the grooves on the inside, it's more
here,
finer metal.
catch, show him. See, they won't mark the material.
Right, okay.
See,
I'm with you on that, but I'm saying as you look in the what you call it, garage sales and that,
Yeah.
when you see them, you say, oh, it's not worn out. It's a whole different.
right,
Yeah, the smooth insides are for jewelry.
yeah. And so, that I got all kinds of crap. Anyway, and then with jewelry, they make these for making, the chains for beads and so forth. But this actually has, here, pass those around. They actually have 3 different sizes on them, so that depending on the size of the material you're working with. And then this is just another smaller pair. But I'm always looking for these small things to work with. If you're working with metal, like this one, it'll make a particular impression on the metal versus this flat one here, or if I'm trying to smooth it out. So that's why I'm always looking at flea markets, junk sales for the various types of pliers, because jewelers have used these, people have ground them down. I found some where the people ground needle nose pliers down for whatever reason, but they became handy for me. So yeah, that's just some of these. I got a bunch at the house. I got a bunch more on the truck too. But anyway, so relative to these nails, gotta figure out which one's the easiest to work with.
You know, they marked anywhere, like, hey, this is a 1/8 rounding?
No. It would be nice.
Yeah.
You could do that,
No.
but it's and so with the smaller horseshoe nails, you can make the pigtail or the rat tail or whatever you want to call it on the end of these cold. But this one's a little thicker, and so it makes the world a lot easier if you heat it up some. And you don't need much. And when I'm making these hearts, by the way, one side of these are flat. Okay, the other side is beveled. And that's because of the way they go into the hoof and so forth. Well, when you're making these hearts, you want the bevel to make the rat tail on the same side as that bevel. So you can see here, the bevel is on this side. This side's flat. So that rat tail should bend this way. And the only reason for that, so when you make the heart, it puts the rat tail and the bevel on the outside and makes meat eat more better when you bring it together. A lot more better. Gooder. Gooder. What?
No, I'll go ahead and take it from here. No, I just wanted to, see how that actually was.
Yeah, so I was going to put some of these in iron in the hat. There is, I don't know how many of you all ever been to Louisa Farrier Supply. It's right at Zion's Crossroads. Rather than going to Walmart, you go the other way. You take the first left and go up about a mile, and it's on the left. And they have all kinds of farrier equipment. They have anvils. They have tongs. They also sell coke. If you want to use coke in your forge to speed things along, you know, start with your coal, and you've already got the coke, you can start faster. They obviously sell horseshoe nails. Thanks, Timmy. So anyway, I mail ordered these because it was just cheaper. You need some water? I didn't mean to choke you up. So anyway, it's okay. I'm used to it. You're not, but perhaps. But anyway, so like I said, the complicated part is holding this thing. I'll use these. I'll use the polite term. Yeah, you trying to be a frog, breathe water. Yeah, these are just lineman's pliers. I mean, the proper term for these. There are other terms. And so let me turn the forge on, see if I can get the light. Oh, look. So I use MAP gas. It's a little more expensive, but it heats faster. So then we just swing this around, and because I've got the size of that dictates the size of my rat tail. And so then I can continue to bend that around if I can. Get back in there. So there we have it. Boy, that was complicated. Do I need to do that again? I can do that again.
So a little plier scrolling columns.
Yeah, that's whatever. I just used these because they were in my hand. I could have used these.
Gotcha.
You know, and obviously the size of the rat tail is dictated by the size that you use. So like if I can slide this one in there, maybe, yeah, and see it goes in there about 1/8 of an inch. If I had done it with the start with and slid to the bottom, obviously it would be that big, but I like to keep them small. Okay, and so now, don't touch that end, it's a little warm. One of the keys here is, I didn't bring a ruler. Who's got a ruler? You got a ruler? Tape measure? Thanks, man. That'll work. I mean, this is precision making here. That- yeah, you take no. Well, what you do is you see how long it is. Now that I've bent it, it's 3 1/8 basically. So
Can you put that up so we can see the drive and everything?
no.
Okay. I don't think it's 3 1/4, man.
So you measure the length of it. Let me put it on top here, and you see it's about 3 1/8, 3 1/4. It doesn't have to be that precise. So half of that. You want to mark the midpoint of it. So half of that would be 1.5 inches plus what, Bob?
16.
Damn. So anyway,
There's 16th in there, divided by.
that's close enough. So anyway, you mark about where the center is. Okay. It's better to use a Sharpie, but I don't have a Sharpie. I got a nail. So I'm using the tools I have.
Okay.
And I mark it. And because what you want to do then is bend it in half. Using my high dollar post-vise setup here. Again.
Okay.
That's what I say. I can do this in my chair while I'm watching TV. And
With the map, guys.
yeah.
Get a little help.
Just don't drop the just don't drop the don't drop it while it's hot. Okay, that would be my recommendation. I've done that, and it's pretty exciting for a moment. So then, we grab it close enough to the halfway point and bend it. Yeah. I'm a little bit long on one side, but I'll get over it. Now here comes the complicated part. Put it back in the vise. Yeah. And we want to mash that down. I try to mash it in completely. You don't have to heat it to do this. Obviously, it makes it easier if you do, but because you want what this becomes is the where the heart curls out of. Of course, I bent it the wrong way, but don't tell anybody. See, I remember one of my daughter's art teachers told her years ago, there are no mistakes in art. So I bent it in that direction to show you what not to do. So
It's easy to do it right.
yeah, it's much easier to do it right. Doing it wrong is much more complicated. So anyway, so I'm going to bend it this way. Come on. Bend it back so that, there we are. No mistakes in art. Because I made the mistake of bending it in the wrong direction. But seeing as how the horseshoe nail,
That's because you're up on the other side of the bevel. Is that what?
well, you want this to be on the outside when I wrap it. Yeah, you can fix it. And like I said, there's no mistakes in art, Hunter. And it being the size it is, it doesn't take that long to get hot when you can. So Well, I'm just straightening it. There we go. I can just get another one. That's another thing. They're cheap enough. I can just start over. But, you know,
Put that one in the hat.
no, I'm too, hell no, I'm too cheap. I'm too cheap, Bob. I'm going to do it the right way. Now we go.
So how many, in reality, different lengths of the nails? I go down to the place there, you got like
Well, they're all numbered. This is number 16. Generally, the ones they'll sell, like in Tractor Supply, are like 5 and 6. They're about that long. So the number indicates the length.
but there are about 10 different sizes. Like you said, people make
Yes. Right. Exactly. This-
Little thick back.
Point. Hey, that's that guy Blaine. Don't try this at home.
Yeah.
Gross. Gross.
What? Don't try this at home. I was trying to do it the right way.
That's like what, $1 each or something?
Well, no, there's 100 in there, and it costs about $10 for that box. So,
That's
there we go. Mash, 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 mash. Come on. I'm just having a party this morning. Yeah, hold on. No, we're gonna cheat. Oh, look, an anvil.
big hammer.
Yeah, see, that's what you do in the vise. You mash it flat. You squish it together. That was for expediency's sake, shall we say. Now let me put it back in the vise. Yes, the clean room. Yeah, that's right. Now let me get the vise hot. I do. But, you know, again, it's because it's small, I can do this and reheat and reheat and reheat. I can screw it up as many times and do it.
But if you put it in the forge, just, you know, a
It
little
wouldn't-
bit, or one heat,
Yeah, it wouldn't take long.
you'd be able to knock it probably just
Right.
with one heat.
Right. So this has to come out, and this has, see that as I bend this outwards, the now what we're going to do is give those a curve to bring them to the point of the heart. So that's hot. Doesn't take long to look at. And remember what Caitlin always teaches us, right? The hottest, thinnest part is the part that's going to bend. So you want to heat it where you want it to bend. And the reason I use these round jaws is to give it a smoother curve. And so what you want to do is try to bring it back to about the center where you've gripped it together. See, there's that side of it. Now, we invert and multiply, as they taught us in math class, right? I'm going to grip it this way. You know, I don't want to, the reason I'm gripping it this way is I don't want to mess up the rat tail. So anyway. No, I already did it. It'd be hard to. The short answer is yes, Bob. You could do it last, but then you'd have to bend it again because your ends wouldn't come together; they'd be slightly apart. So yeah, I mean, you can do it. You can do it however you want, Bob. Well, I mean, it's the Yankee way of doing things. You think? Yeah. Yeah. Oh, don't do this to me, you piece of crap. It's sliding. You suck. Anyway. Okay, fine. I'm going to have to heat it up again and hold it. No, we'll heat it up first. Yeah, it's, I think we'll get it. There is. The smaller it is, the quicker it cools.
I tried to make like little hearts and little tiny strip crosses. Can't put them in the fridge. You just can't even grab them. I mean, especially when they're only a day. Yeah, it's, I want to build a little miniature forge for one of that, but just come up with 2 bricks and I cut a hole in it and then Jim had demonstrated something like that.
Yeah, with fabric, yeah.
Yeah, fiber brick? Yeah.
With a soft fabric.
Yeah. I got a couple extra ones.
Well, they're cheap at the hardware store.
Well, I haven't seen them at the hardware store, but there's a ceramic place downtown.
Yeah,
On,
where you can buy the clay and the wool and so forth. Did you find out what it was? Did you find out what it was?
Did you see them somewhere that you got your ideas for your own, or
This I saw somewhere.
saw somebody
Yeah,
actually doing them?
yeah. I was like, well, I think I can do that. Yeah. Now you got to sit here and spend your time tweaking and getting it all together, right? Let's see. Because It's hard to bend it in the right directions. We're getting there. Now we gotta do some tweaking, bring the stuff together the way it should be. It's hard, the upper side of this thing is hard to bend correctly. Got it too sharp right here. Bring this together here. So once, you know, I struggle because this is the first one I've made in probably a year. But once you do about 4 or 5, you figure it out and get it. It's a much smoother transition, much easier to make the hearts that you want. Yeah, like Mark Sperry did. Yeah, what was it? He said he made 20,000 in like 4 months. I'd have to shoot myself. I mean, could you imagine making 20,000 hooks in 4 months?
I mean,
Right. But 20, yeah, he said, Mark said he would have the forge opening full of nail rods, of hook rods, and just pull them out and bend this and bend this and bend this, and then he shove them all back in. And he was working at some place that was selling them. So, yeah, see, being colorblind, I can't always see what it's doing. Anyway, that's one of the fun parts of this. They're getting hot.
so they're not really made for heat anyhow, these pliers, right? Rulers just,
No, but I'm not giving them enough,
right.
you know, I'm not giving them enough,
What you looking for?
no,
Vaseline?
no. Round stock. Because it's, oh, cool. It's hot enough to melt the insulation.
I don't think I can do this at the TV room. I mean,
I can.
I'm a TV person.
Anyway,
Right away I'm dropping.
so I need to tweak it some more, but there you go.
Okay.
And see, now you can put a,
The rat down at the bottom?
yeah, right
Rat's over
there.
here.
Yeah, let me grab it differently. And
Outside is
you
smooth.
can take a key ring, little lock ring, and shove through there and make it for a key ring. I've seen some people take these.
Put it off to the side.
Yeah, I got your shirt in it, okay.
I've seen people make bracelets out of these. They'll wrap stuff around them. They'll make necklaces with these. And yeah, it's the goal is I need to tweak it to make it a little bit more square here because you want both sides to be parallel. I need to close this a little bit more to make it a little bit better, but that's the basic idea. And I wanted to do it freehand. I have a jig to do this, where I took a little piece of angle iron like this, but I just used a 5/16 shoulder bolt. Drilled a hole in it, put the shoulder bolt in there that I could wrap this around. And obviously it makes it much more consistent, much faster, but again, we'd like to demonstrate to people they don't need a lot of fancy tools to do this stuff, right? Because you can make these and there, now I've got 99 more to go and we're good. Okay. Yeah, you know, but like I said, what you can also do with the nails, they make rings, but let's twist one. And when you use a torch like this, you have to twist it a little bit at a time, because the whole thing won't hold enough heat to twist. Is that red yet? The ones I can't see? I don't know, Bob. Can't see them.
It's like that song, red, yellow.
Black and white there.
Which one can you see? Black and white.
Sorry. You know, you don't need those hairs on the hand.
Right. Start with the arm moving up, man.
Hey. Thanks. Yeah, I know. You just wrap it around. Yep. You take one of these and just wrap it around it. I've seen people go with, you know, the ring mandrels they use to size rings.
Oh, yeah.
I've seen them wrap. Yeah, I've seen them wrap it around that. So.
9, this is whatever.
Yeah, this is an 6, a 7, an 8, whatever. Sorry, I keep forgetting. Yeah, I know, but still, I didn't figure I did. But. I might be able to do it again. I think.
Mother's Day's coming up. Mother's Day's coming up.
Yeah. So, again, will she? Yeah. You know, I should use a wooden mallet and a board, but all that good stuff. But we'll. I'm just trying to straighten, and so, and heating it does add color to it.
Right.
So, but now you can hang this. You know, make a little icicle, or whatever. You could turn it a long one like this. You could actually turn this into a ring too, with the twist in it. But I mean, nothing complicated, guys. And it shows you how. And one of the things that it does, it teaches you how metal works, because the same deal works on a bigger scale. The hottest, smallest part's the part that moves.
Against the red.
He got it. I used it.
Right there.
But anyway, so. There you go. Water's staying on it, so it's cool. Anyway, so that's it. That's a mini demonstration for you.
Very good.
So I'm going to put some of these in the iron in the hat in case anybody wants to do this.
Okay. Okay.
Wait those things up. Nailed it, Jim.
Ooh, hammered home there, buddy. Hammered home. Which project? This project? But I don't know. It needs tweaking. It's not done yet, but.
So this is what's called a rush light. In medieval England, they couldn't afford candles in the poorer class, so they would take the clip, which is basically, if you all look at it closely, is just a small small set of tongs. And they would take and put either a piece of wood dipped in animal fat or a reed dipped in animal fat, which was called a rush, in here and light that instead of a candle. If they could afford a candle, a lot of them came with a candle holder on the other side. as a counterweight for the tong jaws. So I basically, a couple years ago, George asked me to come up with a class for with something like this, and I'm like, okay. So this is actually, I'm going to do basically the same thing I did in the class. I'm going to use a little bit different material. It'll be a little bit closer to this than this as far as material goes, but it will be the twist, the curled candle holder side. You want to see an example of it? And then Bruce gave me a set of these jigs to make a 1-inch round to make the scroll, so that we didn't have to do it the janky way that I originally did it. Yes, janky. I took a pair of the vice grips and a 1-inch bar, stuck the 1-inch bar in my vice gripped the piece to it, and then worked it around. Trust me, janky. All right, so to start this out, we basically start the same way we would with tongs. We're taking a piece of square bar, and we're going to isolate the actual jaw part of the tongs first. In this case, I'm doing about 1 inch. So start on the close side of the anvil with a roughly sharp corner edge of the anvil, and we're going to flatten this down to a little bit less than half of the original bar. Trying to keep it the same width as the original bar and trying to keep it fairly straight. Get that a little bit hotter. And we're going to do the same basic thing on both bars. You'll notice that one of these is a lot longer than the other. The one that's longer is the one that's actually going to be the holder part. Because in order to get the counterbalance, you need it to be a lot longer to give you that extra length. So we're just looking for about half of the original bar, but same width. The first one I need to clean up just a little bit more. So again, about half the original and about the same width. Now that we've got that, we're going to go and rotate 90 degrees from what we just did to the far side of the anvil and do it about 45 degrees so that the edge of the anvil lines up with that shelf that we started with. And this is isolating the boss. That needs to be a little hotter. But you'll see by doing that, it's going to have an angle like this so that it can rotate, and it's going to leave that jaw and a little bit wider boss. So I started out like this, so rotate 90 degrees, about 45. And again, we're going for about half the original bar. Straighten that out a little bit. Clean it up a little bit.
Put it back on the anvil. There you go. Okay.
So at this point, we've got about half the original bar up here and about half the original bar this way, and we've done our first 2 turns. One more turn and we'll have that whole jaw. Now I'm going to do that same thing on the other bar. So started out here, moving here about 45. Okay, clean it up a little bit. Yes, you want them turning the same way each time, and you want the same, about the same dimensions each time. You can clean it up a little bit at the end, but the closer you can get them to get to the same both each time, the cleaner it will be. That's why you see me doing both at the same time, so I don't have to worry about them being too far off. Now, we started here, did 90 degrees at about a 45 on the far side. We're doing another 90 degrees far side again, and we're just going to hammer that again to be about straight. Clean it up. And now we have 1/2 of a jaw of tongs. Now I'm going to clean this up just a hair more, because I noticed a couple of oddities. Stick that back in there for a second. Okay, so we started here, we went here, and now we're doing this again here. And again, very similar to the other one. Going to be a little bit off because I wasn't looking for exact dimensions, but they'll be pretty darn close. In fact, if I hold them together, you can see, yeah, that one, how close they are. Okay. So if I really want to get this close, I can take them while they're still hot, put them on the anvil across each other. And this is where an extra pair of hands or a hold fast works, but I'm just trying to do this quickly. Actually, could I get a volunteer for an extra pair of hands? Hold that down on the anvil. Switch hands here. So if I put them across like this, thank you, and just give them a couple taps, they will line up perfectly. Cool? Yeah. Now, I'm going to take the shorter one of the two, and I'm going to heat the other end of it up. And I'm going to make the spiky part that's going to go down into the wood. Now you can do this 100 different ways. You could make a ring on the bottom of this. You could put it into a piece of wood like this. You could make a metal plate, put it on the metal plate. This was the way I did it for the class, and I have extra blanks for the bottom, so I'm just going to do this again here. All right, so this is just simple drawing out. We want, maybe 3 or so inches. Get that a little bit hotter. While I'm doing this, for the other side, for the part that we're going to make this on, we need to thin out and draw out about 10 inches of it, give or take. So if I take, while I'm waiting for that to heat up, for that, we want it to be in one plane, and we want the other plane to be about the same width the whole way down. So I'm just going to take this, I'm going to set it here. We're going to leave maybe about 3 or 4 inches flat, exactly how it is. We're going to taper down from there, though, all the way to the end. And by the time it gets to the end, we want it thin. For this, because it's 3/8 instead of 1/4 inch, that end we want to be roughly about 1/8 of an inch as a long taper from the 3/8 we started with. And the straighter and more even we keep this all the way down, the easier that will be. And yes, dropping it is part of the forging process. And as with anything, if you forge it hot and then planish it once it gets cooler, you'll get a lot smoother finish on it. So now we're pretty straight, pretty even. We've got a taper. I'd like it to be a little more pointy, so I'm probably going to go one more round. All right, back to the long one. Some more heat. Knocking the edges off just so it's not quite as sharp. Then I'm going to heat this up one more time. And I am going to give it a twist just as a nice decorative detail for the inside. One thing while I'm waiting for that. I think for demo purposes, that's probably good enough. I'd like to have it a little bit thinner. Yeah, we'll go one more round. It's not quite clean enough for my taste. Trying to keep it pretty close to the same width all the way down. It doesn't have to be perfect. The closer you can keep it though. Yep. All right, that should be good. While we're at it, we're also going to straighten it up a little bit. Just even it up a little bit. Now I'll do a little bit more on cleaning up the jaw once I have both, but you can see that's basically going to be the one side. Okay. Now towards the end here, I'm going to taper it just a little bit in the other plane, just to make it look a little bit more nicer as I finish it. So now we got that basically drawn out. It's a little bit thicker than I probably would do it if I was doing this for a really nice end piece. But for a demo, this is probably good. So now I'm going to heat this up. Once it's good and hot, I'm going to go over here to this jig, and we're going to put this twist, the curly on it. You'll notice when I do this, I'm going to work upside down. I'm going to put this end in the little groove here, and I'm going to work it up, and when I finish off the top, I want the very end of it to be off of this jig so that it creates a flat for the candle to have a bottom. I'll try and be off to the side so y'all can see it, but just a warning, I tend to work my way around the jig, so.
And that's what, 1 inch?
It should be a 1-inch round bar, yeah. Standard candle size is roughly about that. Most of them taper, and so the end is a little narrower than 1 inch and the top is a little wider than 1 inch, but it makes a good grip on most candles.
The circumference of one circle is 1.5 inches.
Circumference should be 1 1/8 because this is 1/8 inch bar. Hand me the hammer. Thank you. Now I'm going to have a little bit of straightening to do to get this all nice and neat. In order to do that, I need to get hot again. So you can see the curl around it is about 1 inch on the inside. I have a little bit of a flat, which I'll clean up a little bit on the anvil once I heat it up, and this will be the counter. I should have drawn this out a little bit more, but I can fix this by narrowing the bottom here. That's hot. Huh? I'll get some when I'm done. Thank you. Huh? I said about an hour. I've done this in about half, so far in about half, but it takes longer to finish it than it does to get this far. All right. So with where we're at now, I need to extend the arm a little bit and narrow that bottom. So I'm going to try and get this here. And I'm hitting just this bottom ring to narrow it and flatten it and extend the actual arm out so that you can close up that bottom and give it a shelf. And I'm also getting a lot more arm, which I can then go over the horn and make evened up. And then to finish that and get it nice and neat and even, I can put it in here, grab the inside, and pull it up. And I'll clean up this little ring here on the end, on the horn. So if you notice it's a little flat from the jig, all I have to do is stick this on the end of the horn, give it a couple taps, open it up a little bit, and that rounds it. So now I've got my roughly 1-inch circle candle holder and my rough view for the counterbalance. Kill this for a minute. I do not want to quench these because I need to heat them up. But now, nope, still too hot. I've got my two halves. They're too hot to hold, so they'll go together just like the I turned that around. It goes that way. All right. Oh, that's right. Sorry, I didn't know it was on. All right, so my two jaw tongues will cross over like that. I'll put a rivet in the center, and you can see they'll open and close. And this will sit up like this in the piece of wood so that it will form that whole piece. Now these will take about 10 or 15 minutes to cool off before I can drill them and rivet it. Do you all want to wait around and get tickets and all while I wait for them to cool? And then I'll finish it up? Let those cool a bar. And roughly evened up with the jaws. Then we need to even up the jaws. And make sure that they're good and tight. And once we do that, you'll notice it's a lot looser. So we can take the ball peen and tighten up that rivet just a little bit more. We don't want to tap it too hard because we don't want it being really tight. But we want it so that they're fairly tight right now. And then we're going to heat it up just a little bit more. We don't need to do this long. We just need to get it hot enough that it'll move. And take 2 pairs of tongs, and you do the same thing for tongs. You loosen them up, keep moving them, and put them in water. What this does is it fixes the joint so that it always will stay. I bent that the wrong way. That's why it's not staying. So, you all notice what I did, right? I put the counterweight on the wrong side. Instead of keeping them tight, I put them loose. We can fix that. I haven't made one of these in about a year and a half, so give me a break. I put this loop on the wrong side. If you notice, it's supposed to be on the side so it counterweights the jaw. Instead, I put it on the other side so it holds them open. Oops. No big deal. We can fix that.
What are you gonna do, just pop the rivet out?
Put them in there and bend it. Yep. Funny part is, this is the first time I've actually done that. Would happen in the middle of a video demo, wouldn't it?
Then you're like,
Oops. Hot, hot. Little hot. Funny part is, one of the parts to finishing this is putting it in the vise anyway, so. Okay, well, that one's done. You guys get the idea though, right? It broke.
Not too cold.
No, it's too thin for trying to bend it that far.
That little piece, you could make it into an alligator.
Yep. Oh,